The smell of coffee is in the air. It must be time for another episode of The Art of Struggle. The machinery of the gaming industry has run amok. An industry that was once the most innovative and exciting artistic field on the planet has become a morass of drudgery and imitation. It is time for a revolution. This is from an article called The Death of the Game Industry, an early indictment of the game industry itself, by Greg Kostakayan. My name is Fatai Opawoye, and you're watching The Art of Struggle. In 1992, the typical development budget for a PC game was as little as $200,000. Compare that to today's report where games like Grand Theft Auto 5 cost a mind-boggling $265 million. GTA 5 has since crossed the $1 billion mark in revenue. Industry professionals point to art assets, not programming, as the main cost driver, as machines become more capable of rendering much more detailed 3D models in real time. The market demand for more detailed 3D models in realistic games have skyrocketed. I believe we have a long way to go before we reach a plateau in realism. Till then, the war for better graphics will continue. While sales are growing, production costs are growing even faster. The average game loses more and more money, which has made publishers make up the losses on the few games that are a hit. In this ever-growing industry, big budgets breed conservatism. Publishers don't want to risk a lot of money on a game that might hit or miss. A study by Electronic Entertainment Design and Research discovered only 20% of games that start production will end up with a finished product. And of that percentage of finished games, 20% will make a profit. This means that only 4% of all games which start production will eventually make a profit. Before digital distribution, the issue of shelf space was crucial. Most of the sales were concentrated in the first 2 weeks after the release. Marketing was and still is a big part of the AAA budget. The result of which was a hit-based market where big budgets bred conservatism and there was little room for niche products or risk-taking. Enter the indie boom. Indie gaming saw a rise in mainstream popularity in the later half of the 2000s, primarily due to new online distribution methods and development tools. Some indie games have been very successful financially, such as Undertale, Braid, World of Goo, Super Meat Boy, Fez, and Minecraft. It seems in recent years, the word indie has come with sneers as companies use it to appeal to a wider market. With the instability of the AAA game studio and the rise of the free-to-use game engine, the indie life is looking more and more palatable. Companies like Epic Games, who create the Unreal Engine, making developing virtually free, has started to shake up the market. It looks like indie games are here to stay and more viable than ever amid this controversy of who's indie and who's not. Here in Dallas, there's a bubbling indie project that has gained quite a bit of excitement. It won a development grant from Epic Games and launched a successful Kickstarter campaign. Nilo is the brainchild of Kevin Bryant and Michelle Morger, two game designers residing in Dallas. As far as indie goes, this is as indie as it gets.
players, like, they can't just wall run off of everything. So that's a wall you can wall run on, but this surface you can't.
Yes.
When you get your SPN, you will have to delete Cloaked Patron Deadly.
This does not go here by the basement. I'm telling
So what's Nilo about? What's the name of the game?
Well, if you were to really kind of condense what genre it is, I guess action is vague as hell, so character action. So
Character action. Okay.
more about stylized fighting, stylized play style,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of also blending elements of shmups and other kind of fast-paced run-and-gun games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just all about fighting really fast and using various styles of fighting to rack up crazy combos and stuff.
Okay. So, and how many weapons can Nilo hold at once?
So Nilo's main weapon
Uh-huh.
is the Hands of Ophelia,
Hands?
which is an array of 4 floating mechanical hands.
Uh-huh.
And that allows him to wield 4 weapons simultaneously.
That's cool.
So you can hold a rocket launcher, 2 SMGs, and
Mhm.
maybe like a shotgun or something. You know.
What? That's cool. That's
Um,
cool. And do you get to like upgrade these weapons at all?
Not the individual weapons.
Uh-huh.
Some of the weapons have like modifications,
Dope.
like extra range and stuff.
Nice,
like that,
nice.
But the weapon itself can't really be modified.
Okay, so can it go up in like damage increase or anything like that?
Yes.
Ooh, nice.
Reason why individual weapons aren't customizable because we kind of like to think of the hands as the main weapon and
okay.
the guns are attachments.
Nice. So you can so I'm guessing you can grab and throw stuff then.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You can definitely grab and that's cool. That's cool. So
so-
what's the movement like for Nilo? What inspired his movement? Is it like parkour?
Yeah,
Or-
a lot of parkour, just a lot of moving around really fast.
Mhm.
Not only in horizontal spaces, but in vertical, using kind of wall jumps, wall runs, air dashing, drop dashing. Like there's all these kind of various ways you can move around, and once you really get the feel for all your different movement abilities,
Mhm.
it can give you a really big advantage in the arenas. Just kind of being familiar with your character's abilities in general really can give you a great advantage
So
in fights.
2D or 3D? What is Nilo?
Nilo's really
3D.
3D. I mean, it's
Okay.
got like 2D inspired elements, like the twin
Mhm.
stick shoot 'em up mode and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But we still kind of want that, that bullet hell gameplay to really push vertical space, really push that Z axis or Y axis, whatever you call it.
Okay.
And to be able to have like things like wall jumping, have certain enemies that can fly in the air, and some enemies you cannot hit using the twin stick mode.
Okay. So there's some enemies that require you to be in that mode and require you to go to
Exactly.
3D. That's dope. That's dope.
Like there's enemies that have shields in front of them that you cannot shoot them using any kind of weapons from the front, so you have to hit them from the side using your ranged melee.
Mm-hmm.
My
Or-
favorite enemy would be the ones that are bomb-proof.
Ooh, they're bomb-proof enemies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is there like a mega boss? Does the story lead you to the mega boss, or are you more like playing arcade?
There are bosses, and there is going to be a final boss.
That's dope.
As of now, Nilo is available on early access, and currently the entire first act is playable, but the second act and third act we're still working on. We put our game on early access to get a lot of kind of early feedback. A game like this, as complex as this and stuff like that, getting people's hands on the game I feel is very important for us because
Being only two people.
we may not know, kind of how people would approach this, and make sure that people kind of pick it up and not get too overwhelmed immediately and stuff like that.
Nice,
And
nice.
the only way for us to learn that is to have people play
Have
it.
people play it.
And
Okay.
people are really good bug testers.
Okay. Cool.
Players, users, they can find bugs that we often overlook. But we do address them like immediately, and we're also very good at listening.
So with
to
the
feedback.
first act, what do you get out of the first act? What am I expecting in the gameplay wise first act? What has been released for us?
Okay.
So am I looking forward to arcade modes, marathon modes? What am I looking for?
Okay, so the entire first act of the campaign has 6 chapters
Mm-hmm.
of story mode.
And will the story eventually end in the second and
Yes.
third?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
It is a complete story arc, and we have the whole script written. We have and all the
We have
the
all
vo-
the voice acting
the vocal
done,
production is
and
done. Almost all the art assets are done.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like, basically this entire game, 90% of the content is done. It just kind of, the puzzle pieces need to be put together. And-
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. So, how long do you think it would take you to, in general, how long did it take you to kind of put the first act together?
That's kind of a difficult question to answer
Uh-huh.
because it's like,
No, I mean, answer it however you
but-
feel.
I guess from the point of like when we said we're starting this project to
Mhm.
the point that Act 1 was released on early access.
Yeah,
That's 4 years.
4 years. Okay.
But then again, it's like
there's a
we've
lot
already
more
had
to
a
that,
lot
too.
we've already have a lot of content
Mhm.
planned and worked on and stuff like that. Like there's still kind of a lot behind the scenes still and yet to be kind of opened up.
So, what influenced Nilo? Like, what kind of games do you think influenced
Geometry Wars.
Geometry
Robotron,
Wars
2084.
2084.
2084?
It really
Lots of platinum games.
Okay.
it really kind of
A
did.
lot of platinum.
I think a lot of the spark really did kind of come out from like making it like a twin stick shmup, and then let's turn into a character action
Like a
game.
shoot 'em up.
Yeah, much like the Robotrons
Mhm.
and Geometry Wars and stuff like that.
Basically, any game that we've ever wanted to play as a kid.
That's dope. I can tell, like, even like your room, the way you designed your little studio
exactly.
space.
Whatever, whatever
It kind of tells
inspires
me.
us is right there.
Yeah, it's
and
right here. So
Yeah,
you're
all
this
over.
is our shrine of influences.
this is
Yes.
cool.
So pretty much almost like everything that has inspired us will
And
be on
Giger.
this wall.
And Giger.
So
Nice. So, how often do you guys get to play games on your own? Like, aside from making your own, how often do you guys? get to
okay,
play
so
games?
as far as like actual hours of playing games,
Mhm.
it's really not that often. I think
Is it more like game testing or like learning design that you like?
more
and-
like study. Like
studying.
I've
it?
never really had time to enjoy a game. It's
Okay.
sad 'cause, like
Except for Mortal Kombat.
okay, so we do play, but even still, like you do kind of like I do get ideas and inspirations,
Uh-huh.
even though when we do like try to play a game casually,
You end up
we
you end up
sparked
breaking it
anyways.
down. Yeah.
Usually recently we've been trying to make it to where we have at least one day off where we are playing something else.
Okay. That's
like
cool.
to-
Try to get a
we
balance in. So I'm just asking, do you guys like playing games, or is it just you don't have time?
We absolutely enjoy playing games.
Mhm.
However, it's got to be a game we could pick up quickly and put down quickly.
Okay.
Warhammer.
Okay.
Anything like Fallout or
Yeah.
Skyrim,
The
those, those kind of games like.
So your game.
can't.
Can you put time into playing your game?
Oh, absolutely.
If somebody released your game, would is that the kind of game you design where you can pick it up, play, and go, or you have to invest like a Fallout time or a Witcher, or like what?
Well,
what
it's
kind
actually kind of both.
It's a bit of both?
It's something that
If you're
like
playing the
it's something that you can absolutely just pick up and play and put down, but really the replay value or the kind of lasting
Mhm.
appeal comes into that mastery, like being able to
Mhm.
improve your skills and be a better player and stuff like that,
Awesome,
and get
awesome.
crazy high scores. You could play through the campaign, and spend 6 to 8 hours going through the first act or whatever. But we also have that endurance mode, and we also have like things you can unlock for endurance, like helmets and stuff like that, to really like reward people for wanting
to do better and get
really
get the
master
next
their
level.
skills.
That's
for sure.
awesome. That's cool. That's cool. Well, it was nice talking to you guys here. In this next segment, we're probably gonna play a little bit of the game, and we'll give some feedback on how we feel about how controls are working, how it's moving, how smoothly, all the little fun stuff that you'd want to check out in a game. And what's still impressing me is the fact that this is literally, like, if you want to say indie, like if indie has ever meant anything, this is what it means right here. This is what it means to be like underground, getting it in, doing your thing every single day. This is what it means to be living that dream, working on your shit, not really.
We're an army of two.
Yeah, army of two, and it's kind of inspiring to see stuff like this. So if this is something you want to do, you got to have that same level of dedication to really get out there and get this shit done. So yeah, man, let's play some. Yeah, you just play as the Spartans. Like,
who wants to play a foot soldier?
Yeah. Well, ODST, we did play ODST.
Yeah.
ODST weren't Spartans, right? They were just
they were just
shock troopers. So now you're picking up your weapons. You got those little hands. You got 4 hands.
The hands.
So you actually have 6 hands. Why don't you use your regular hands? That'd be dope.
So the design of the hands is a bit like, I guess I was kind of really into like out spray paintings at the time, so you can probably see the influence there. Where it's got kind of like the eyes. And we often like kind of use those like psychic knives as a symbol of like the Zenith class or whatever, or almost like a clan. And you see it a lot in the kind of the more like elite Tonogan soldiers. Like the counselors, their thrones have like almost like this kind of peacock tail or whatever on the back of it and stuff. Like, we do put a lot of thought on kind of like the design of all the sci-fi things. We just don't arbitrarily make things look cool. We try to make things look appropriate to the characters or the type of characters. Because it definitely at first appears as like this, again, that's just a little cool or whatever, try to put as many cool shit on the screen as possible, but it's like we actually do put a lot of thought about many of the very subtle visual designs too. This level may not be the best example of that, but still. You definitely want your character to be very powerful, or you see like sparks coming off of his feet as he's running on walls. Like I really like I feel like it's very important for our character to really look like he's shredding that wall up and stuff. Even when he's just sliding, you see like a bunch of sparks coming out of his shoes and stuff. And we've even like modeled like it's very hard to see, but we did take the time to actually model cleats underneath his shoes.
Okay.
So like to really go with that character, that's kind of meant to really tear the ground up as he runs.
Okay. So how do you generate those bombs? Do you just have like a few bombs with you, or
no?
Is it like
you get it?
Accumulates after?
You get it when your combo reaches to 10, and then you set it off, and it heals you and eliminates all the around you.
Awesome.
So it's like it is this kind of climax thing. But the thing is, there's different phases of bomb. The first phase is when you unlock it at X10. Second one's X20, and X20 you start getting these things called Zen rewards, which are like these extra buffs while your combo's alive. The first one is you get like more bullet time and stuff like that.
That's cool.
The first Zen is bullet time. The second Zen you get like a stun bomb, and then the third Zen you get like a stun bomb and unlimited ammo and stamina. So like melee attacks actually run on stamina. So if you just like spam melee attacks, they eventually lose their energy.
That's cool.
There's a bit of like a Ninja Gaiden inspired mechanic right here.
Oh shit. I like that. Is it like a super?
Yeah.
So like an ultra?
Yeah, it's like an ultimate technique kind of thing. And if you just hold it down, like, and then let go early, it's just a weaker version of it.
That's cool.
and then it's already gone.
Dude, this game would be so dope on
It is going to be on Xbox.
That was the execution. So that's that Sunball was talking about.
PlayStation.
so we'll say on drugs, but
So,
on Xbox is fine.
Sorry.
Sorry, so when you see an enemy that's down but not out, you see that V in front of it.
Your bones.
Dude, look at the drop ship. That shit looks freaking nuts. So like, what about concept art? Like, do you do concept art for this shit, or are you just like, yo, my concept art's 3D?
Okay, so a little bit of both. We do a lot of
Characters or concept art?
so sometimes we'll have like a little sketch of the character, but when it comes to like the intricate design details, we'll do like we'll block it out. We'll do a ton of paint overs, and that's just kind of how we iterate on top of it. You know, we don't make the concept art that looks like it'll go in an art book.
Okay.
Because like our 3D art is what's gonna go in our art books. So that's where all the work is. That's kind of our final renders. And for being people who've learned a lot, you know, kind of more in 3D and 2D, our skills are stronger in 3D overall. So, you know, we kind of see our, especially like our really high quality models as concept art. When you're playing a third person, it's good for kind of hitting people at range or in vertical, and that's kind of
when people catch on to this, man, it's gonna be over. Like when people catch on to like how genius this little mechanic is, it's gonna really take off, man.
So this is kind of an example like the atmosphere we really put in this game. Like you can hear like the thunder and stuff like that, and you can hear. We turn up, you'll be able to like hear the ambient rain, and we have a 7-channel surround sound system in here. Just
so
kind of
did you research other planets for the planets that they were on, or was it something that you were like, I'm just gonna make up the physics, or how did you?
No, as far as like the astronomical being like astronomically accurate or whatever, we don't really care too much about that. We kind of break a lot of the laws of physics, much like Star Wars does and stuff, because we're kind of more
like Star Wars.
We're kind of
you
more.
got the rain planet. You got the rainforest planet. You got the lava planet.
Yeah.
We're as far as artists, we're kind of escapists. We kind of like we want to go far away, and we're just kind of more about telling a fantasy tale far away from human beings and stuff like that. So, and that's kind of what we want to do. In fact, our next game is going to be a fantasy game, but it's definitely a very very different art style.
But we're only planning like 2 games ahead. We don't have anything after that because that's like.
That's planning more than 10 years ahead.
10 years.
Yeah, I don't. I mean. So that's cool, man. That's really cool.
I was going to show you like kind of some of the we're even inspired by like some inspirations go far as back as romanticism and stuff like that. You can see that all in the sky. Where you had this kind of like warm versus cold light of hope kind of. We want to make sure that all of our levels have like these really just larger than life backdrops, and so while some of the levels like this is a much more ambient level and not so jam-packed with action all around you, there's still a lot of really cool spectacle and there's still a lot of really cool backdrops. You really do feel like you're kind of far away or whatever.
That's cool.
Again, like originally this level was like much foggier and much much harder to see, but we lifted the fog and opened it up some more, give it cooler draw distances and stuff like that, because like we wanted to make sure that all the levels have these larger than life backdrops.
That's super cool, man. Well, once again, I want to thank you for having me, man. It was awesome being here, checking out studios of Magic and Mirrors with Kevin and Michelle. This stuff is awesome. I wish you guys nothing but the best in your future and awesome endeavors. Make more awesome games than we are. I hope to be back here in 4 years talking about the next awesome game you guys, got to make or, are putting out. So, this is awesome. Thank you. All right, man. The Art of Struggle signing out.